a lot of pressure on them. If they lose against us, most likely their tournament's close.
We can call it like a Dhoni-like inning. Hey guys, we are catching up again to have a chat about Sri Lanka's game against Ireland. Bora, did you watch the game last night, India-Pakistan? That was a cracking game.
Yeah, cracking game. I think still in awe of the result. I mean, King Kohli anyone can't get better than him. How he handled that situation and how they came on top. But I mean, India, Pakistan, leave that aside. The level of cricket that was played with, the entertainment there, good pace on the wicket. We saw some good fast bowling, good batsmanship, and end of it, I think everyone got something out of it watching that game. That was such a good game to watch.
Yeah, no, we had everything in that game. It started slowly. The wicket had lots of grass and it was seaming a bit. Pakistan took some time to get going, but then last 5 overs, they came back into the game, posted a good total. I mean, everyone talked about Kohli's form and all that. I mean, he kept his calm and finished the game. That was unbelievable game of cricket. There was lots of incidents happened in there. Like everyone was debating that was that 3 runs off that free hit, was it legal? And there was a no ball call of a full toss. We had everything in that game, and what a way to start the World Cup for those two teams.
It was lots of good strategies involved. I think I like listening to some of the post-match interviews as well, and then I was thinking the same through the around the 12th, 13th over. You could sense that they haven't been able to squeeze in the left armers last over and going with a 5 bowler attack. I was thinking, okay, at what stage does he bring it on? He eventually kept him to the last over, trying to widen the gap and give him as much runs as possible, which at times captains do go down that line, but with a spinner on going into the last over, that's a very bold move. And where T20 is at these days is batters back themselves up to hit 2-3 sixes in an over, compared to few years ago 1 6 and probably more boundaries. Now they target that 6. It's per ball shot that is on offer with the batters. I think I was just thinking, put him as a spinner number 1 that late in the game. There's a lot of pressure, and imagine how much he would have been thinking the scenario over and over, because he knew he had to bowl that over, and at each over that it gets, he doesn't get a chance to bowl. He knows the pressure is building, and you could see in his face if he struggled through. I mean, full toss, no ball, a wide down the leg side. I think there was a wide on the offside as well. So that shows a bowler just he wasn't in his own. So the flip side of this is where we sometimes go past a bowler we had in Lasith Malinga, who did this over and over again. He would have played with this much of pressure, and he handled so much of this last over or the 19th over, and he dominated. He was on top. So that's the difference of men coping under pressure and being able to deliver. And Nawaz unfortunately wasn't on his mark, but India still, they found ways to bring it back with that stump just off the last ball, the ball before that. And even Ashwin, sometimes I know he's not the most favorable cricketer going around, but he had the game sense to leave that ball with knowing it's going down leg for wide. A lot of players would have tried to go hard at it. So,
Yeah, he played
um,
he played it smart. He just walked.
yeah,
Yeah, he walked across a little bit, and Nawaz sent it in, and
in
yeah, nah, he has a cool head, bro. He's a very smart cricketer, Ashwin. Uh,
so
yeah, oh, well, I mean, great start for the tournament. I mean, sets the tone, isn't it? Like
yeah.
nine more
How
than.
good was Kohli's? I think there was the West Indian player who played a back foot
Oh yeah,
shot off for six over point or cover about I think close to a month go against Australia, but then Kohli comes in and smack Haris Rauf straight over his head,
yeah,
close to 80, 90 meters behind. And those kind of shots, you don't even train to play
no,
them. I don't think Kohli would have trained that in the nets trying to hit that. I don't know, but that's my thoughts. Those shots just come out of naturally. That's
yeah.
um,
At MCG, the straight boundaries are the shortest. But they are still big boundaries. So
yeah,
they Kohli, I, we can call it like a Dhoni-like inning. I mean,
yeah.
he kept his calm, and he, like you said, he had a plan when to attack. He didn't attack early, and yeah,
Yeah,
we shared a video of a fan video of that shot behind the wicket.
the batters.
If
Yeah.
you check it out in our Twitter feed, you'll find it that the fan
Mm.
has captured it brilliantly. That it's unbelievable shot. I think we shouldn't talk all about India Pakistan game. Sri Lanka won against Ireland. In the end, it was a comfortable win for us.
It was a really good win. I think I think we said it's a good team to face early up in a tournament like this. We managed to get that win. Um, just my pet peeve or pet disappointment was seeing those key fielders being at the wrong spot and seeing
Yeah,
Lahiru Kumar at long on when Sterling was batting. That was like I could pull my hair out and
yeah,
not the best decisions. We've got to learn. We can't make that mistakes. Good players. Imagine the likes of a Kohli batting, and you have Lahiru Kumar and Mido long on, and he drops this. He's gonna just, um, it's a very costly mistake. I get the Sri Lankans at the moment. We are thinking hotspots, the deep or the cow, deep mid wicket. That's where you see the likes of Wanindu Hasaranga fielding.
yeah,
But I think the modern game has now moved towards the long on a lot more
yeah,
because it's not like people just hack to cow these days. They're good players they're good attacking players.
yeah.
So
Even
long
if they
on's a
do, Bora,
likely spot.
it's gonna go for six. Like there's a good chance of going in for six. So like
Yeah,
the long on and long off are the places where you get the catches
yeah.
and the runouts as well. Like Nananjit took a run out from there, direct hit from the boundary line. Yeah, you need your best fielders there. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Like if you against Australia, like if you get the Australians, Glenn Maxwell's at long on. I think couple of months back when Sri Lanka were touring here,
yeah,
he fielded at long on and pulled off a run out of Kusal Mendes, one
yeah,
stump to end. So he doesn't move off. And I was there live watching the game. He runs from long on to long on
yeah,
throughout the last bit, or say 8, 10 overs.
yeah.
He does that designated. And for Sri Lanka, Dilshan used to do
Dilshan
that.
used to do it. That's what I
I
was gonna
remember
say.
um,
Well, it's
and
not
I know Mahela is, you're right, Mahela is very hard on having the key players fielding at the proper spots. I remember, I think it was when the game that Akila got smacked in the face or the eye
against New
in
Zealand.
one of the T20. Yeah.
Mm.
And the game, it might be that game or around that period where it boiled down to the last over. And Mahela made the play where he sent Dilshan out to long off. And I think Dilshan caught the catch out in the boundary in a critical moment. So we just got to be smart. I think that long on has to be a better fielder,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we've got some good fielders out there. So that's my harp in terms of what we
yeah.
could have improved from that game. But I mean, the batting look, we were on cruise mode in terms
Uh,
soon as we got them out to 120. Um, Kusal Mendes just
um,
was in the driving seat.
yeah. Yeah, he's been really good. 2 man of the match awards in 2 games. Asalanka looked a bit scratchy, but he hasn't been playing in that position for a long
Yeah,
for some time. So it's a good game for him to get into some form. But
yeah.
yeah,
When
hopefully,
us
yeah. Go.
Now I was gonna touch base when Aslanka bats at number 3, and and he kicks off a bit because at the speed he bats, it generally helps the team.
Yeah,
So I know he's not in form, but he's one of the better batters we've got in that group.
yeah.
We've just got to push him up because um, just sets us up. I mean, the next batter in was Ashen Bandara, but still, I think that number 4 is there's a bit of work involved around that. But I think number 4 we can play around it if the top 3 come holds their own. So it doesn't become as critical the number 4. Generally, it's 1, 2, 3, and
One, two,
then
three, yeah.
7, 8 after that making a play in the batting order.
So we are heading to Perth from here. Um,
Yeah.
I saw a few pictures posted by the journalists there. The pitch looked
Yep.
very, very green, Bora. So
Yeah.
it'll be a bit like MCG last night. Um, I think hopefully we'll be able to get the services of Pathum Nisanka for this game.
Yeah.
He's been batting well against these bowlers and against Australian bowlers. The other thing is Australia lost to New Zealand. I mean, I was watching the game. I saw their shoulders drop. I saw their Aussies' shoulders drop after first over. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, they completely outplayed Australia. New Zealand, they haven't had much success against Australia in Australia for nearly 10, I think it was more than 10 years. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is a very good chance to catch them and surprise them and win. I know it's hard to beat them in Perth. It's very
Yeah.
good hunting ground for them, but this is the chance. It's
Yeah. I think
low on
this is a
morale.
good chance. Yeah,
Mm.
good chance for us because Australia find themselves out similar to how Sri Lanka were in the qualifying stages where we've lost pretty poorly and the net run rate eating into it. And Australia at the moment struggling unless a lot of pressure on them. If they lose against us, most likely their tournament's closed. And credit to New Zealand, they made a lot of changes coming into this game, like
They made some
Finn
big calls.
Allen. Yeah, they left Cup. They allowed got Finn Allen in, unheard of, but he played with a lot of freedom, not
Yeah.
like fearless cricket. That's what fearless cricket is. I know we at times we wanted to play fearlessly, but if you see a guy who throws the first 2 balls of Stark go for 6 and a 4, that's they've come up with a good plan. So bit of pressure around Australia, which is good um, for Sri Lanka because that means the chance of them making some mistakes pretty high. Finch, he's feeling the pressure on his batting spot, hasn't done a lot of work. So
Yeah.
interest in who will go with the new ball. I think we might need to gamble on it and give Lahiru Kumara the new ball just to beat
I
him
reckon.
on pace onto the pads
Yeah.
to get that ball LBW in play. Wickets wise, with our I mean, in Melbourne, it's been 4 weeks without cricket in community cricket, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of wet weather around that's playing a part in on the wickets. I mean, yesterday's game again at the MCG, you saw that green top, bit of zip in. That's gonna be what that's going to be the, I think, order of this tournament, because there's not much dry weather around to get that, color, or the dry color coming onto the wicket. So
Yeah.
Perth generally has a bit more in it for the quicks.
Mm.
Our batters, I mean, if I think Pathum's getting a good, has gotten a good rest. We need him batting, playing there in the
Yeah.
top order. So I think they might push him, risk him, play him to see how he's at, because he generally handles space better. Um, but yeah, like bit of momentum. Momentum's key in tournaments like this. I know we are not at the peak, but there are good signs of progress being done. The
Yeah.
bowling passage was good. We made, I think, a tactical move, getting the spinners late into the game to cover up Dushmanta's overs.
Mhm.
Um, that will play a part in the Australian game as well. So I mean, Binura and I think Charmika as well. I think I'd like to see him up in the order, like opening or being in the top three bowling setup.
Yeah.
But he seems to be held back for a bit. Um,
Mm.
Vanidu and key part is Vanidu and Mahesh Dikshana's
Yeah.
overs, because
Yeah.
that eases the pressure of the quicks.
Yeah. Another big ground, Bora. Big playing area. So
Mm,
so the field placements and where you stand from the boundary will be key
yeah.
thing to think about. Yeah. Other than that, I think if Patum comes in, Ashane will go out. Other than that, it'll be the same team.
Yeah, most likely. I think
Yeah.
The fast bowlers did their job well. I mean, this is the attack we have on the ground running, so they've done well to their capabilities.
Mm.
Um, Dhananjay squeezed in a few overs, so that gives the flexibility between Dasun and Dhananjay to see out. So Dasun probably might bowl in Perth if it's got that greener color on it.
Yeah.
Um, the matchup, I guess, would be, if we can crack open Finch early, I think that will put a lot of pressure on this attack, on the Australian batting. Maxwell hasn't, he's having a lean patch, so ideally you want to crack that open. He generally does well against Sri Lanka. So if he
Yeah.
can keep him, his innings dragging on for a while, it means that he'll struggle to make much of an impact. But um,
Asalanka and Zampa, maybe Zampa and Banuka be another
yeah,
matchup because Zampa he's done well against us as well because he bowled a lot of
correct.
googlies to our right-handers and in big grounds it's very hard to clear. So he's another guy because no one talks about him, but he comes and take 3 wickets for 25 runs in 4 overs, and yeah,
Yeah,
break our middle order. So he's another guy we have to keep an eye on.
Australia will go in as favorites in this game because of playing at home, better setup. Just the the poor result they had in the last game is just going to put a bit of pressure on them. Sri Lanka has a bit of momentum. I mean, if you look at the way the games are scheduled for us, yes, we have a bit of traveling around. They get to see almost all parts of Australia, but
Mhm.
um, with the fixtures, we won against Ireland, we got Australia, which, I mean, if things work out, they're not in the best of form. If we manage to knock them out, we are slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Then
Next
it's, I
up,
think,
Sydney.
Afghanistan. And then England, we play last. So if playing England last is not a bad thing. By then, you probably know where you're standing. Um,
Yeah,
so it's a long tournament. Few things need to go your way. Bit of luck, bit of form, and being good at it gets us to where we want to be at the end of the tournament. So, um, yeah, just got to keep faith in the boys, keep helping them so that they, supporting them so they keep getting the results that we need.
Yeah, that's it. We'll we'll do another episode after that game. Yeah, keep following us, keep supporting us. Give us a like on our social media and subscribe to us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, goodbye.
Cheers, guys.